Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I wanted to talk about a subject that is very important that I haven't dealt with a lot on this channel, but it's the Great Law of Peace. Kain Lakowa. This is a concept, a belief, a system of government that is utilized by the Haudenosaunee, Six Nations Confederacy. It was brought to us hundreds of years ago, maybe even over 1,000 years ago, by a person known today as the Peacemaker, who brought this concept of peace to 5 warring tribes in upstate New York: the Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, and Seneca. These 5 tribes were culturally, linguistically, and spiritually related, but they were at war during this time. Revenge killings were rampant. Sickness, death, murder, witchcraft, all these things were present at this time. Once these 5 tribes came together in peace, they developed a system of government, which was also not just the government, but their way of life, their lifestyle, their way of thinking, their way of treating each other, built on several different concepts such as love, compassion, peace. And onward, they maintained this peace for hundreds of years. It wasn't until the Europeans arrived that tribes were set against one another and competed with one another for trade in order to protect themselves from each other, that the peace was broken. And the Haudenosaunee began warring against neighboring tribes of Algonquins who spoke different languages, had different culture, but lived in the same general areas. And eventually they warred with Europeans also and took sides on behalf of the British during the French and Indian War. And later, the Oneidas, my people, sided with the Americans during the American Revolution and during the War of 1812 and every war afterwards. So I talk a lot about different wars on this channel, but I only talk about them not to glorify them, but to show how my people were able to survive these wars and weren't conquered. They were never conquered people. They always created their own path, made their own decisions. Today they're considered a sovereign state, but underneath the US government. This was an arrangement that was made that was supposed to be the government looking out for Indigenous people. In exchange for their lands, they promised them healthcare, education, everything that they would need: food, shelter, all the necessities of life. But they didn't never actually fulfill those promises and agreements that were made through treaties with these sovereign nations. So I want to show through my videos how we survived and protected ourselves and defended our homes and our families, our communities, our culture, and how these things still survive: our languages, our ceremonies, our culture. But they have definitely took a hit, definitely been devastated, definitely lost millions of people since colonization occurred. So the Great Law of Peace is a system of government that can be utilized to create peace between warring peoples. And we see all over our world today, wars started over almost nothing. Wars started by coveting others' resources. So history gets repeated all over the world as it has here in Turtle Island. And I just wanted to reiterate that Indigenous people have always been for peace. It wasn't until their homes were taken, their people were killed, that they were forced to fight for their survival, which we are still today, over 500 years later. If you're a descendant of a settler, this video isn't to say that you are at blame directly for the misdeeds or actions of your ancestors, but to say if you benefit from them, you have a responsibility to understand and learn this history and to make changes if so needed, if you choose. Thanks for listening. Yawanko. Take care. Onagiwa.